As we are talking about even drought in some part of the world, in East Africa today, there's a crisis, talking about drought. In another part, in South Africa, there are floods. In our own part of the world, we are talking about the monsoons of West Africa are happening. And we are beginning to see flash floods in some areas already. So that shows that it's here with us. And we have to learn how to manage it. And that's why we are talking about disaster prevention and management. Because you have to manage a crisis. It's a crisis with us. And it affects development. It affects the economy. And we cannot afford, really, to have our economy go down. Because disaster really brings down economies. Because the people who are affected could be business people.
In a separate but similar development, members of a youth body called Operation No Backway to Europe also donated 17 bags of rice to the Jammeh Foundation for Peace. Speaking at the presentation ceremony, the chairman of Operation No Backway to Europe, Babukar Jabi, harped on the steady progress made by his organization over the period. The organization, which was established in 2007, is now operating 5 farms in Genoa in the North Bank region, thanks to the call made by the President for Gambians to till the land. Mr. Jabi appealed to concerned authorities to assist them with farming implements and fertilizers. Dr. Adi Sach, board chairman of the Jammeh Foundation for Peace, commended members of Operation No Backway to Europe for the initiative and called on other youths to emulate them. Baimata Drame, a board member of the JFP, urged members of the Operation No Backway to Europe to be more dependent for the sustainability of the organization. Suleiman Saho is a representative of the Operation No Backway to Europe in the North Bank region.
And you will all bear witness with me that NBR is the most affected region as far as Backway is concerned. Parents, mothers, wives, they have been mourning the death of their kids for decades, since the days of Sahara. Now, people in NBR say no more Backway. Is 4 months old in NBR when we started mobilizing youths, when we started sensitizing parents not to give fund to the young people to venture in this horrorous journey. Your Excellency, we did not stop only at sensitizing young people. We try to show them ways through which they can make a living.
The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Dr. Aja Aissatou Saidi, observed that the number of young people embarking on this dangerous journey at high sea have reduced significantly thanks to the efforts of the youth organization Operation No Backway to Europe. Dr. Njai Saidi reiterated government's commitment to the development of the youth, citing the numerous projects by government geared towards empowerment of young people. Mama J, Grts.
State prosecutors have presented 2 more witnesses in the ongoing murder trial against former National Drug Enforcement Agency officers Echo Grant and Ibulo at the High Court Special Criminal Division. Ibrahim Jata was at the High Court and he now reports.
Prosecutors presented 2 witnesses during today's proceedings in the murder trial against the former narcotics officers. Usman Balo, a barber who told the court that he runs a hair salon in Banjul, testified as the 5th witness of prosecution at the Special Criminal Court. Balo adduced that in April 2011, someone came to his salon and told him that he was needed at the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital to save a sick person. The prosecution witness explained how the patient started crying when he was saving him and the eventual discovery of some wounds on his head. Defense lawyers refused to cross-examine, and prosecutors ushered in witness number 6, Suleiman Ba, a student from Bakau Sanchaba. The witness related events which occurred on the 25th of March 2011 when he heard a sound while in his house and decided to find out what it was about. When I came out, I saw the deceased Cherno Aliou Suare bleeding as the first accused gripped his dreadlocks. He was eventually taken away by the officers. Suleiman Balo told the Special Criminal Court. The 6th prosecution witness said in May 2011 he was called by police for questioning. The trial continues. Ibrahim Jata, Grts.
Personnel of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the National Environment Agency, and the Association of Early Childhood Educators recently met for a 2-day forum to evaluate the gains registered by a pro-environment intervention called the Greenie Environment Education Project. Babakar Kamara reports the intervention reached out to 65 nursery schools and more than 7,000 children.
It is the green advocacy campaign that lasted for 4 solid years in the Smiling Coast, using nursery students at the grassroots level. They are back in business and this time around evaluating their first environmental pilot project that covers 65 nursery schools across the country.
We are here today to evaluate the program, the Greenie program. Greenie, as we all know, is an environmental program. And the bottom-up approach we are looking at in this program is for the children to carry the message to the adults in the communities.
We have invited 32 or 35 participants, and then tomorrow we'll also have another 35, which is a good number, and sure these numbers would be able to spread the message around.
The environmental education project under review has reached over 7,000 children and their communities. However, project officials are still concerned about some of their project findings.
We believe this project is a success, yeah, but we only can prove that if these books ending up in the communities and are not stuck at the schools. Yeah. I understand your sentiments. Yeah. I would hate to let go of a book like that. And then 2 weeks later I see it maybe in the dirt because a child hasn't taken care of it. This is a risk we have to take.
The 2-day forum is set to build on the adaptable best practices registered by the project, while allowing children to take the lead role in their community initiative.
We love Greenie, we love Greenie, yes we do.
Babukar Kamara, GRTS.
Officials of the Ministry of Trade have been trying to validate a medium-term plan to map out a strategy upon which the Gambia trade policy will operate. The meeting was a day-long deliberation of various economic actors to discuss the medium-term strategy. Ajay Misize has more.
With the economic crisis hitting hard the economies of even developed countries, the World Trade Organization is on its toes striving to find solutions to the long-standing problem. The latest to succumb to the meltdown is the U.S., with its debt crisis making headlines on channels around the world, a worrisome moment for world markets. When the food crisis cropped up in 2008, the Gambian Delasses was badly hit, making the Trade Ministry tighten its belt in their strive to strengthen trade operations in the country. Since then, the Gambia has witnessed steady economic progress made by the ministry, which has also propelled various mechanisms taken by the government and the World Trade Organization to expand on trade-related infrastructure as well as deepen the trade facilitation process to boost the Gambia's competitiveness. The Gambia Trade Ministry, in their continuous attempts to accelerate growth and employment, is validating a medium-term strategic plan to set the framework of operations for the national trade policy.
The ministry hired a consultant to prepare a medium-term plan to implement the DTIS as well as the prescriptions in the trade policy.
The 2004 trade policy was successfully reviewed by the World Trade Organization, who commended the government on the different strides they have taken to stabilize the economy against the obvious negative impact of the global financial and economic crisis. The ministry still has plans to further strengthen trade operations in the country.
It also aims at improving and maintaining competitive trading environment that is capable of enhancing domestic production, improving export performance, and harnessing the Gambia's comparative advantage in the service sector.
Working closely with stakeholders towards achieving the government's desire to improve the competitiveness of the business environment and diversification of the economy is a priority to the Ministry of Trade.
We would also hope to look at the plans and prioritize them based on the Gambia's needs.
National trade policies set to identify gaps in the economy of countries gives clear synopsis when reviewed of economic environments, trade and investment regimes. Having a medium-term plan for the operations of the national trade policy may avail significant developments which could have an impact on the global trading systems, which might be just the right answer to the economic recessions we face now. For GRTS News, I am Ajay Amisise.
The School Green Committee and the School Environment and Food Aid Development Society have combined efforts to introduce young people to the effects of climate change and global warming. GRTS' Samuel Ba was at the opening ceremony and he now reports.
It is a day sensitization, awareness,